comment to your introduction might be like also for us to think about how this could be productively not pulled together. And this is so raw and it's so beginning, and it's something that's really just kind of so new that it could really begin to move very freely in a lot of different directions. And I think that it would be particularly helpful with a piece that's so new, that's open to think about what those openings might be, less in terms of like, oh, you should do this with that story, but rather like what some of the structural ideas are that Phoebe is trying to work with, also some of the narrative ideas that you're trying to work with, and then how they might be further complicated, and so that's something to keep in mind too. I think the movement back and forth, and I think you've all read this, of texts that are moving back and forth between time and also fiction and so-called nonfiction, and how they relate and interlock, and can continue to do so maybe in a way that's again, like further complicate some of those things, is one of the things at least we've talked about. Kind of.
Can we just assume that comment is the subtext of the entire program?
I want no great wonder when it's hanging there.
Okay. I just want to say one more thing to like further answer your question, Rachel. I think that I was trying to directly, or more directly than I usually do, answer my own inquiries in this piece. You know, like my problem, like you referred to before, the problem I'm ready about. I was trying to like talk about it more, meet it more directly. Yeah. Whatever that means. Okay.
It's great.
I'm gonna start from the beginning. This isn't really a story, it's an attempt at a story.
If it were my world, I'd be out every night roaming beneath the moonlight with the backpack jam full of paints, free to spray upon any surface all my love like the kids in parts of Brazil do, and the woodpeckers banging into the trees in Central Park. But the intergalactic extraterrestrial force watching out for me in the Escalade was gone. Without help from a guardian, I could no longer smear paint. My reality caved, all my senses were still intact, but I couldn't propel them to create. The introspective, sensitive spirit dominating my body had been thrown into a jail cell for shoplifting from Whole Foods. I got time served in that don't get into any trouble within 6 months bullshit judges love to offer, but then I got picked up for pissing in public. I never paid the ticket, so a warrant was issued for my arrest, and the cops scared the shit out of me, so I tried to be more careful. I tried to curb the way I lived in the world to fit the needs of the suits. What other choice did I have? Without protection from an intergalactic army, I'm bound to the armies of Earth. No more painting my love all over the city. The sky erupted with rain, so I wandered the streets to greet my comrades sleeping on cardboard boxes beneath anything which would keep them dry. The rain gave way to a light mist in the air during the early hours of morning. Again, New York City felt like a giant trap that had caught me. I needed to return to the bushes in Central Park, which hold me like an infant and fill me with eternity. One day I will be a flower again and open up to the sun in a fragile way. I sang, a quiet hum is amplified by your thumb that you suck dry, as I discreetly retreated back into the bushes near Turtle Lake to stretch my legs and scratch my belly and eat the dumpstered salad I found earlier in the large piles of plastic bags stacked high. Then I slept. A rat scurried into the bush I was in, and I remembered my high school friends. For a second, I swear I saw this one kid I knew named Darren, and the black plague seemingly spread across his face in the novel Rats Are Nice, shifted eyes of common cash, and I screamed out, do we die or do we travel? Then I gathered twilight to my breast as I gathered the dawn as a pillow of pine needles and toasted the creditors because our collars are the color of their blue eyes, and I sang to the sky looking like tadpoles, and the narwhal and the sea of collusion swam up in the form of a cloud. So I sang out to the narwhal, dig up your bones, exude your pine cone, Miss Sadie. Then I looked around as I realized and softly mumbled, and all that I know is blowing like tumbleweeds.